Um, I think whiteness is a term used to define how people behave in society and what kind of, I guess, values they place upon the colour of your skin.
To me, whiteness is a skin colour. It's can be a concept as well, in that it's just what a person looks like. Similarly, in that they could be an amputee. They might be missing one arm, one leg. It's just something that they look like.
Not really a colour of your skin or whatever. I think it's more your beliefs and ideologies and stuff like that.
Cultural privilege, I guess, like the opportunity to do things and being at the top rung of a society.
I think it's a state of mind, if anything, you know.
A way of life, a culture. Yeah, it's nothing to do with what skin colour you have.
I don't think anyone can really define what is whiteness, and so I'm not sure if there's anybody who actually is appropriate enough to do that. But I guess everybody has their own opinion about what it is, even though they may be white or black or of another ethnicity. But I don't think anyone can really say what it is, since it's not a real solid thing.
You can't change your race, you know. There's a lot of, it's funny, the thing about prejudice towards homosexuals. You can go in the closet as a gay person and pretend you're something you're not. You can't pretend you're black. You can't pretend you're white because your skin color shows on the outside. So, I don't know, everyone, it's for everyone to define, yeah.
No.
Again, I don't think there's something that can accurately be described, so I don't think it has to be explained, but if it makes people more comfortable to do so, then that's their own prerogative, I think.
There does need to be a definition if you are going to be talking about either issue.
They're symbiotic, so in order to know what one is, you need to know what the other one is. But I don't think you can define what being black is. You can't. Blackness, it's either you need to be able to define black people or the black experience. You can't say blackness is a thing, because like then every person who listens to Jay-Z would be part of blackness. But the black experience is different than blackness. The black experience is going to a shop and having shopkeepers follow you around, stuff like that. Not being able to access things that other groups would not. The experience is what should be defined, and the limitations of that, but not the concept of blackness.
If you are Aboriginal, you're Aboriginal. You've got the genes. It doesn't matter whether you look it or not. You know, if it's in the family, you can, you know, and you identify as an Aboriginal person, then you are an Aboriginal person. Yeah.
That's an interesting question, because I was at the library the other day and I overheard a discussion where these white girls were talking about an Aboriginal guy, and he was like, you wouldn't even know he was Aboriginal. You wouldn't even know. He acts like you wouldn't even know. And I think that's problematic, because I think they're still Aboriginal, but they're not recognised right away as Aboriginal. So it's almost like a wolf in sheep's clothing. That's probably a little bit too drastic a metaphor, but they're able to get through the areas in society that darker skin wouldn't. But I still think that the fact that this girl was talking about you wouldn't know he was Aboriginal is as offensive, because she's sort of saying that he doesn't act like Aboriginals act, and therefore that there's a defined behavioural pattern for Aboriginals in especially Australian society. So there was a level of offensiveness to that statement and sort of social ignorance. Yeah, I don't know.
It has nothing to do with skin colour. So you could have someone with jet black skin, but who comes from a very white and Western perspective, So you could say they are white and Western in the way they think and behave and act, whereas you could have someone who has very fair skin but still bloodline connections to their tribe or nation, but who comes from a very black perspective, black way of looking at things.
It just depends on the person, I think, because whiteness isn't exactly, I don't believe it is the colour of your skin. It's more of what you feel in your heart and as a person. So if you are a fair-skinned Aboriginal person and you don't live by the laws of the land or the culture that is within your blood, then I guess I would define you as a white kind of person. But if you live, you know, within the culture and practice what our ancestors have been practicing for millions of years and that, then I'd say that you and your culture is, that you're defined as a black kind of person.
Greed, individualism, a lack of care about land and the environment.
The destruction and that it causes with trying to get more power and more money and that.
As a white person, you could pretty much expect to get a secure job, be on top of the list, and then, but sometimes, a lot of Aboriginal people are discriminated against because, for that reason, because they're black. So there's all these negative connotations coming from whiteness about the stereotype of black people.
I think like a colonial nature to conquer, to be correct for everything, to be to know what's best for people below you. I think that's probably the biggest thing about whiteness. There's a moral superiority that you get in white behavior that other groups don't have, and also a feeling that everything is there for you.
Well, there isn't really much that I could think of off the top of my head. It's just not. It's not a hard question. It's just that I can't think of much. I guess I guess to do with like the 200 years of of white occupation in this country. I guess you could say the positive things that's come out of that is the fact that our people continue to still fight and resist I guess being assimilated into the dominant society, and the result of them fighting, we have such things as Aboriginal radio stations, and many other different Aboriginal organisations around the country. It just shows that there's a continuing acknowledgement of how this country still continues to fail when it comes to I guess basic human rights of our people in this country.
In Australia and whiteness here, it's I don't think there is much positivity coming from it because it's really marginalising people that should not be marginalised, that should be allowed to do things that and have rights that they should have, and equal rights and things like that they should have. Yeah.
I guess one of the positive things is, well, I look around today and there's all the technology and that for helping people that are sick, for helping children, for helping, I guess medical services and that is pretty good. I can't really think of many just because, just of all the bad things that have happened within my family of that, with the white side of family. I don't know if many people know about the stolen generations and that, but my grandmother, she was taken away from her family because she was fair-skinned, and that kind of affects, it's happened to a lot of families. My family's not the only one, but it affects both my family and a lot of families around us because we were never allowed to learn our culture and our language and that, and so it would have been deadly to be able to talk my own language, but I don't know it. I can't do my own dances and all that kind of stuff, so I think that's another negative thing, so not really a positive, but that's the reason I can't think of any positive stuff.
My skin colour, I don't think about my skin colour in terms of making me feel anything.
In terms of this context, I suppose it doesn't make me feel as good, but when I'm with my family, it's a non-issue because everybody is the same and we all know who we are. The colour of my skin doesn't really tell me who I am, how I should act, because it's just who I am.
Every now and then, I guess less now, I'd always think, oh, I wish I was really dark so I didn't have to justify myself to people, but now I've sort of come to the realisation that, and the belief that I enjoy, or I take satisfaction out of knowing that I'm connected to the oldest living culture on this earth, and it doesn't have anything to do with my skin colour.
I like being a blackfella, both on my Aboriginal side and my South Sea Islander side. Yeah, it gives you a lot of strength, and it kind of makes you feel unique in a way, like you're not just another fella walking around or whatever that doesn't know where they're going. You have that, you can search for that cultural side and that, and you can do stuff that actually has meaning to your own, to yourself and that.
It makes me feel very proud the fact that what our people have been resisting for the last 200 odd years. And it just goes to show the strength that our people have. A lot of our people, sadly, with darker skin than what I have, have fallen, and have been assimilated into, white society. My skin colour is a reminder every single day that, our people do exist, and our people do, have a fighting chance, to change the way that, our people are perceived, our people are treated, all over this country. It's a clear reminder to how, how much knowledge we have of country, how much culture we have of country, and black is beautiful.
That is actually a very, very difficult concept to entail. I would hope that I wouldn't think any different, but that would be influenced by external things that I have no control over.
I think that, I'm not sure if it's true or not, but I feel at times that life would be different if I was a lighter skin tone, based on the fact that I wouldn't have my nationality telling people who I am because of the media and how people portray them in general. I do feel that sometimes I would maybe be more successful or just different, really.
I think I would feel really marginalised. I would think I would feel suffocated. I think, I would only want to be with people who understand what I'm going through, and that would be mainly other people who are of the same colour as me, because they would be experiencing the same things too. So it would make me not want to trust or talk to any other people with other backgrounds.
I think I'd be very angry and upset because, even I am, it's not prejudice, but I know the feeling of going somewhere and not belonging. I don't know, I've been shadowed by security guards in shopping malls or whatever, and them follow me around just because of my personal appearance and what I seem to look like to them. So, and obviously I don't have it every day, or I don't have the more societal, social barriers. I don't have a glass ceiling. It's not a big thing for me to go to university. In my family, people go to university, unlike, other colours, other people's skin colour. It would be way more of a challenge to go to go to university. That's a big thing for some people.
I think if I was the opposite colour of what I am today, I'd probably have a lot of different thoughts and a lot of different things to say about what blackness is and that. I know with a lot of my mates and that, like, they don't know much about what's happened to my people and what it means to be black and that. So I think if if I was a white fella, I probably wouldn't get the opportunity to learn about everything I've learnt about as I've grown up as an Aboriginal person. So I think a lot of what I think today will be a lot different.
If I was white, and if I had half the knowledge base that I have now, I'd be I'd be really respectful, towards black Aboriginal people and dark-skinned people,